how should students look at entering the film industry, even after they've done a professional qualification?
You spend it, or you have to be very certain that this is what you want to do for the rest of your life. I've actually had, and I've had situations where I've actually gone to, like, kids that I know, you know, they've called me and like they're, you know, friends, younger brothers, like, I really want to go to film school, can you come and talk to my dad? So I've actually gone to their house and sort of convinced their dad that send him to whatever, NYU, NYFA, or whatever. And I'm like, look, the worst case that can happen is that it's some money wasted, but he knows that he doesn't want to be a filmmaker, but at least it's worth that chance. And I think it's a bit of an extreme thing to say that, you know, send your kid to film school and 9 lakhs later you know whether he wants to be a filmmaker or not, and it's probably 3 years or 4 years down the drain. But I do think if somebody is really passionate and really, and I think one part, as Roshan has said, and one part is education and one part I think is experience, and just afterwards is not enough. You have to really, really want it. You have to be sort of like doodling on your notebooks about stories, or pick up a camera when you're 10 years old. And I mean, all the great filmmakers in the world have done that. They've all picked up video cameras at the age of 8 and 10 and 12, and you know, then they go to film school. And most of the time they actually reject film school for whatever reason. So yeah, I think number one, the desire I think is really important, besides the education. And yes, know for a fact that you're going to have to come out and struggle a lot that they're going to be doing. They're going to be sitting there for months doing that kind of stuff. Then you get to do some real jobs, and then you can figure out what you want to do. Do you want to, okay, I prefer the post-production part of it, I prefer the pre-production part of it, I prefer shooting, or you know what, I don't want to be a director, I want to be a cinematographer, I don't want to be a cinematographer, I want to be a sound recordist. Luckily, film schools, I think, give you that chance before, so you can go in and decide exactly what you want to be. But sometimes it also happens that you come out and you're like, I suddenly, the last 4 years of my life have kind of gone and I don't want to do this. So yeah, my advice would be just do the education, but just know that you're really, really passionate about this. Don't do it because you think it's a good job to do it, because today the film industry is a great place to be and people get well paid. And in the beginning, nobody gets well paid. Really, nobody gets well paid. And I've had to work, and I mean, and Neeta or Testament, I've actually spent, I think coming from what she was talking about is the fact that
passion is real, my desire is real. I mean, how do they figure out that, you know what, this isn't just something that's fleeting or mandatory?
You know, it's interesting, working on 10 other things and it still keeps coming back to you. You know, if your dreams keep you awake, there are times when I work on 10 crazy things at the same time. I wake up at 4 in the morning because I want to write. I feel the need to suddenly tell what's happening in my mind at that time. My wife thinks I'm crazy. My children sleep in a different bedroom for that same reason. Saying, no, it's crazy, but it's you, that passion is within you. But I think one very important aspect, and I want to just comment on what Vikram just said, which is the fact of saying that, see, when you come to a school, and today, you guys, why are you running 3 diverse curricula? You're doing it because coming even to a film school, I don't think, you know, in day one you say director bana hai. There are so many other things. I mean, there are so many other means of telling stories, of being part of the storytelling process. And when you go through that process is when you make that internal journey of discovery as well. I wrote a play 15 years ago, which I then ultimately converted into a film 15 years later. The journey in between was the story just stayed with me, and I just wanted to tell it. I wasn't certain where it would end up, whatever, that was not it, but true passion sort of just stays with you. Veer Das has just launched a comedy festival, and I'm saying this because, you know, it's suddenly out there and you're like, okay, here is Veer. Now, Veer, I want to give you an example. I mean, he's a guy who studied acting, went to the US, did all of that, wanted to tell jokes, was in Delhi, had a huge struggle as a comedy performer in Delhi. People will shoot you if you cracked a joke on them in Delhi, most probably. So, you know, so he came to Bombay, and they were more accepting. And after a bit of time, he found his calling as an actor, and he wanted to tell more stories. He built a collective of storytellers. He's doing stage, he's doing film. At some point, I'm certain he wants to direct as well. If you went and got into a couple of film groups, you'd find